Yeah. If I can have everybody's attention, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to get started, and I'll call the meeting to order. And we're going to ask our Vice Chairman, Mr. Jack Salmon, to lead us in the invocation.
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, and we ask for your assistance as we take up affairs that affect the water district. Give us clarity of thought, wisdom in our deliberation and our decisions for not only the items that come up before us affecting our individual cities, but also collectively for the district itself. Father, we ask that you would draw us close to you, all of us, in an intentional way, to honor you and glorify you in all that we say and the way we act and what we do. Father, also ask you to grow our faith and draw closer to you in doing what you would have us do, to be used by you throughout the community and areas that we travel. Father, help us now work together collectively and collaboratively on the affairs that come before us. Thank you for loving us. May we glorify you in all that we do. Forgive me for my sins and grow me as well. Use me where you can, Father, and may I be in your will at all times. For it's in your Son's name I ask these things. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Jack. Appreciate it. The pledges are next, and Mr. Jack, if you hold your phone up, just hold it up so people can see it. We forgot to bring flags, so we got a flag, American flag on his phone, the Texas on my phone. I'll lead us. This is the American pledge, okay? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. Yes, here it is right here. Okay. Yep. Okay, item number 4 on the agenda is recognition of guests, and I'm going to just declare that everyone here is our guest tonight. We thank you very much for your attendance, and we're going to get started with the public comment. It looks like we have 23 people on the list, and I'm going to be the timekeeper. We're going to do 3 minutes just like we've been doing. There will be no interaction, no discussion. This public forum is for you to express an opinion about any topic or any subject that you choose to express it about.
Nobody reserved time.
What's that?
Nobody reserved time.
Nobody reserving time. 3 minutes straight across the board. And to help you out, when it comes your turn, come to the mic. And when you get to 2 minutes, I'm going to go like this. That means wrap up. We got a minute left, okay?
Okay.
Very good. First on the list, Chris LaPree. Yep, come on.
Chris, press to turn it on.
Say again?
Press the mic to turn it on. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, excellent. The people behind me need accountability. They need transparency, and that's something we haven't gotten a lot of lately. And I'm here today not to insult anybody, just to give some observations of what I've seen over the last 2 months. In the last few months, I've seen some very disturbing things from the board in East Texas Water District. I've watched and witnessed a board member silence a citizen's First Amendment rights in an open forum. I've watched another board member not knowing the difference between groundwater and surface water in his speak to his council, civil council members. I watched a board member have all the questions answered for him by a district manager to his city council. I've watched another board member stand in front of his city council and say that he was going to sell as much water as Wayne wants. And that same member also bullied a citizen before that meeting even started. I watched the president of the board stare into a camera and say the citizens are blowing this thing out of proportion. I guess a pipeline that pushes 100 million gallons a day is blowing it out of proportion. The fact that this board almost is this close to inking a deal or voting on a deal that has all these citizens and could possibly make second-rate citizens out of their own water supply and their own watershed. Second-rate citizens for where we work, raise our families, and worship. The fact that this board member is this close to selling us out is very sad and depressing. Just because this board member has cut off the strings to its puppet does not mean that puppet masters get off scot-free. Actions must have consequences. I believe that the people of these 7 cities can no longer trust the people sitting before me. The people need to take back what is ours to ensure the future of Lake of the Pines and the surrounding cities. If there are any city council members behind me, I urge them to take a look at their city members and their board members that sit in front of them and really take on their actions and their words versus their consequences. Thank you.
John Fortune.
I'm John Fortune. I've been asked by Diane Gormley to read a letter of concern to the board. Unfortunately, I am not able to be at this meeting tonight, but I need to address some serious concerns, so I have asked my statements to be read. I have attended multiple city meetings out of the 7 cities involved in the water sale. I have listened to the presentations and words by Jack Salmon, Dominic, Ms. Osiris, and others from the NETMWD. I have listened to the presentations and concerns by several attorneys, including a thorough presentation by Nelson Roach, retired Corps of Engineer Jerry Thomas, experts from the Caddo Lake Institute, mayors from the cities around Caddo Lake, accountants, and well-researched citizens, etc. From my university days, I understand clearly how statistical data can be easily skewed if applied incorrectly. Dominic's presentation has been refuted by scientists, engineers, wildlife experts, and hydrological engineers. All have said this information is incredibly misleading and meaningless to the point it's trying to address. I implore you not feel bullied by some on the board who are using scare tactics, skewed data, and pressure to get a sale or at least to go through. I was personally bullied by Jack Salmon after the Avenger City Council meeting. He stated by telling me all about the large companies he ran and how successful he was at making a profit in these businesses. I tried to ask my questions, but he said I was interrupting and that I had to wait until he was done talking. I looked at my watch, and after 30 minutes of his loud, angry lecture to me, I said, "Never mind," and quietly walked away. The mayor witnessed it and came and apologized to me afterward for Jack's behavior. I have also learned that some employees have received $10,000 raises each year from the past couple of years. Wow. And is there any additional financial incentives for them to for a deal to be made? I implore the board to please listen to the experts in their respective fields pertaining to this issue. Jerry Thomas, who was part of the Corps of Engineers over the Lake of the Pines and Caddo area and knows intimately the data and how to apply it correctly. Attorney Nelson Roach and his understanding of applied law and history of these issues. Caddo Lake Institute and all their wealth of information from scientists, hydraulic engineers, wildlife experts, water rights, attorneys, and 20+ years of engineering and scientific studies. This information is free. These people are stepping up for free because the issue is so important. There is so much more to learn as some of the board with open minds have discovered. Please take time to listen to the experts who have no financial incentives but only care about making correct decisions for East Texas and future generations. Thank you, Diane Gormley.
Thank you, sir. Hunter Bonner.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Hunter Bonner, and I am the Marion County Republican Chairman. Mr. Chairman, first of all, I want to thank you for keeping your word at having this meeting in a larger venue and at a time when people can better attend. Now, tonight on your agenda, you have an item to consider the employment of the general manager or other employees and possible dismissal. This is presumably about Mr. Owen's possible departure from the Water District. While many others, including myself, believe that Mr. Owen should be dismissed, There is something else that must be addressed, and that is accountability must come to the members of this board. Jeremiah 7:3 says, "Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, amend your ways and your deeds." KMHT released a story in late February of an interview with Mr. Owen, who stated that he was, quote, recruited by a current board member, end quote. That means somebody seated at this table here tonight. That member and the rest of the board are responsible for what we have arrived at tonight. In conversations that I've had with voters in member cities, including my own member city, Jefferson and Marion County, there is an overall lack of confidence in the current membership of this board to effectively run operations. Member city councils have been contacted by voters, and many are requesting that members of this board be replaced. Given the overall lack of confidence in the current members, the right thing to do is to contact your member city that appointed you and inform them of your intent to resign. And that way those member cities can begin working on appointing your replacements. Now, regarding this deal with the North Texas Municipal Water District, while it may be disclosed to the public that this deal has been in the works for at least the last decade or so, the secrecy behind it all is 100% objectionable. Since our last meeting, objections to this deal have reverberated throughout the water district. The Marion County Republican Party passed a resolution opposing any water rights sale. Last week, the city of Jefferson did the same thing. And in February, the Marion County Commissioners Court passed a resolution prior to your last meeting opposing a water rights sale. In short, Marion County is united and stands in solidarity with other member cities and other counties opposing this water rights sale. Therefore, the most important thing for this board to consider is something I will reiterate when I addressed you all 1 month ago. In this deal now, contact the North Texas Water District and tell them that this is still America, and the people of East Texas have spoken. They do not want this. If you want to have any saving grace coming out of this mess, you will make that call first thing in the morning. If you choose not to, then I am quite certain that your replacements will have no problem doing what must be done to protect our water resources here in East Texas. Thank you for your time and attention.
Stacy Satterfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, today my name is Stacy Satterfield. I was raised in Daingerfield. I reside in Hugh Springs. Please don't be fooled by the way I talk. I might sound like a redneck, but I do have a little bit of education. Today, I come before you with a deep sense of frustration and concern for the future of North Texas. What is unfolding here is not just talks. It's a backdoor deal shrouded by secrecy, hidden behind a non-disclosure agreement, which coincidentally, we got a copy of this. So I'm assuming that poor Wayne Owen's going to be y'all's scapegoat. This deal also jeopardizes our very foundation of the communities and future. This is not simply a matter for the cities, the water directors, or select few individuals behind closed doors. This is about all of us. Every single person that calls Northeast Texas home, who works here, who invests here, and who cares about the future of our region. This isn't just about some secretive water sale. This is about the communities that are being ignored, the families that are being put at risk, and the businesses that are now making decisions to leave or not invest here because of the talks that are happening in the dark. We have watched as the property around Lake of the Pines and Caddo Lake has been left unsold, all because of the fear that this water sale deal is going to take away the very resource that makes this region viable, the lakes. It's a fear that has been proven true as we see a major corporation halts plans to upgrade its local facility here. Those plans would have provided an additional 1,000 to 2,000 jobs to our area, but it's not just about potential deals. This also threatens the livelihood of 1,000 people who are already employed. Does that make you happy? Those uncertain futures is because of the talks, because of the cities and the water directors that have chosen to focus on money rather than the future of their own communities. Let's be clear on what's happening here. Cities that are supposed to represent us have ignored the concerns of the citizens, refusing to even put this issue on their city council agendas. They also don't have to face the questions, the backlash, or the reality of what they're allowing to happen.
1 minute.
They become nothing more than pawns in a game. I do want to recognize the few, the public, the ones that have stayed up for the public, 3 of the 7 cities, Lone Star, Daingerfield, and Jefferson, they've actually taken action. So this is not just about the future. It's not just about the water, it's about the future. It's about growth, it's about jobs, it's about children's opportunity. It's about preserving the quality of life. So I demand the following: full transparency, There can't be talks, proposals, deals made in secret while the public is left in the dark. We demand that negotiations for the sale of water in Lake of the Pines to Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex cease entirely. These talks should not be tabled or postponed. They should be permanently, publicly ended. There should be no more secret meetings or back doors. We demand accountability. These cities and these water directors involved in this situation need to answer to the people that they serve. It is time for them to listen to their constituents. Understand the real world consequences or get out.
Billy Satterfield?
Go around, babe, she has set it up.
Okay,
She
thank
hit
you,
it on
sir.
the nail there.
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
thank you.
Go ahead.
Bob Sanders? Yes.
I'm Bob Sanders from Marion County. I've been to several of these city council meetings, and I haven't met one person that's for this transaction y'all are wanting to do. You're on the wrong side of the issue. So I want to ask you, what does Northeast Texas need the most? Industry. What does industry bring? Jobs. We have an abundance of one of God's greatest gifts, and that's water. Selling our water is a Band-Aid for our small town problems. Instead, we need to create solutions. A couple of great things coming to the state of Texas. Livestock Weekly, January 30th, 2025, there's an article about the Natura's molten salt reactor. It's a modular desalination plant to clean up saltwater disposal on oil and gas wells, plus gets water from the Gulf and converts it to fresh water. This technology is just around the corner. It's in partnership with Abilene Christian University and Texas Tech and Natura. I'm sure y'all are familiar with Apple Corporation, the iPhone, iPad, MacBooks. It's just been announced Apple is coming to Texas, bringing $500 billion and will create tens of thousands of new jobs. Does Austin have this water? No. Does Dallas have the water? No. They want our water for landscapes, swimming pools, and job creation. How about an out-of-the-box idea? Why don't the 7 cities that you represent unite, form a coalition, and bring some of those jobs to Northeast Texas? We have electricity, natural gas, railroads, a good highway system, and most important, water. Let's have a 3-point plan. Drop the sale of water to North Texas and to Dallas. 2, form the 7-city alliance to represent our Northeast Texas area to the state and the federal government. Let's go after those jobs.
1 minute, sir.
3, form a delegation to meet with Tim Cook and Apple. The whole plant design does not have to be here. You can have smaller plants that need the water. They're called JIT plants, just in time. Carrier has this in Tyler, where they have satellite plants. They build a part, put it on a truck, and JIT just in time to the plant in Tyler. Your vote today determines the prosperity for your kids and grandkids. This is your legacy. This is a legacy vote. Vote wisely. Thank you.
Mayor Spearman.
First, giving honor and praises to God, we just thank God for allowing us to be here tonight. Thank you all for allowing us to speak. Thank you so much. And if I say anything out of the way, I apologize right now because I don't plan on hurting anyone. My name, and I reside in Marion County. I was married to my husband for 57 years. I have 7 children, 19 grandchildren, and 19 great-grandchildren. Water is life-sustaining for us. Without water, we'll perish. But we need water to cook, to clean, to bathe, to shower. We need water for everything. We grew up, my children grew up on the lake. We spent weekends on the lakes, swimming, fishing, just picnicking. My husband would take me around the lake and we would just ride and look at the beauty. Not only does the lake provide that, but it also provides food. We love to fish. I met a lady that told me she loved to hunt. What will happen to our wildlife if we allow Dallas to pipe that water from here? There's so many rumors going on around till I wish we really had the clarity of it. My husband, my home was destroyed in 2022 by a tornado. We moved to Longview to live with our daughter until we could get another home. And I told my husband, we don't have to move back to the lake. We could live anywhere. We could live in Jefferson, Longview, anywhere. He said, I was born on the lake and I want to die on the lake. I took him back to the lake and he passed away July the 1st of last year. 57 years. But what about our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren? Not only mine, but everyone in here. What about those? What legacy are we leaving for them? We want them to have and enjoy the same things that we enjoy. We want them to have the lake. We want them to swim. We want them to learn to fish. There's a thing called Kid Fish Day. They have Kid Fish Day every June on Lake of the Pine, where the children are allowed to come in and fish without a license, and they award them everything from the first turtle caught to the first rock caught. And the children have so much fun even wading out in the water to fish. We need water. We need water. If we sell our water to Dallas, what are we going to do? Are we going to move to Dallas to have water or purchase our water from Dallas? No, we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that. We want our water. Please vote no. I know that, like I said, there's a lot of rumors going on, and it's hard to decipher all of them. I read all of the posts, but I know you all are going to vote no. I know it.
Time.
George.
Yeah, time. Yes. Charlene Parr? Yeah, here we go. Okay, here she comes.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Directors, for this opportunity. Wow, it's been 90 days, hasn't it? What I wanted to do was, first of all, say that I think that this has been a good thing because it has brought to life how passionate we are about how precious our resource is. And going forward is what I want to look at. And Texas is going to be making some big, big decisions. And going forward, I was reading, already there are things happening. You've got Choke Canyon and Lake Corpus Christi down on the Texas coast, where you would normally think high rainfall areas. They are both. One is at 8% capacity before this last rain, one at 15%. But they are currently discussing with Port of Corpus Christi and a desalinization plant. You have El Paso, that they are already starting what will be a desalinization plant of the brackish water. So there are changes that are coming. The important thing is we're going to have to work together. Whoever's here after the dust settles, we need to work together. And I think that this proves to you that that the citizens should have a voice in this. Right. And they should have a voice. We are the reason, the 7 cities are the reason that we have Lake of the Pines coming in to build the dam. And so we should have a choice. So let's go forward together. Let's work together. I think 2 of the most contentious things for what I heard from so many is, number one, you hired a general manager that's from the Metroplex. And number 2 is we're dealing with North Texas Municipal Water District, and they have been the ones solely responsible for coming after Marvin Nichols. And we have been fighting North Texas for years. And by allowing them to come into this area and make these kind of changes, it actually will change the face of East Texas. So going forward, please, by all means, let's manage our water. Let's not sell it. Let's not sell it, certainly not the water rights. Let's manage it, and let's work together. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Kim Hall, okay.
Hi, I'm Kim Hall. I'm from Daingerfield. They pretty well said a lot of it. I know a lot of you, and I represent the Lord in every capacity that I go into. I try not to say anything ugly. I try not to be disrespectful, and kindness is free, and we should all use kindness. But this situation has been so heated and so scary. It's scary to me because I have been without water and I don't want to be without water again. And the fact that things keep coming up that make it even more, a bigger, broader picture, more water that they want, and that they're losing so much water under their streets. That's where our liquid gold will be, under their streets, because they don't fix their pipes. Why don't we send people up there to help them fix their pipes instead of giving them our water?
Right.
I mean, there's got to be something that can be done besides selling something so precious to us. If we sell them our water, then we're going to have to wait for the desalination plants and get our water and pay $12 a thousand gallons when we sold it to them for pennies on the dollar. I mean, none of it makes any sense. We have it here. It's ours. It's good water. Kudos to the plant out there. They do an awesome job. I'm so grateful for my clean water. And the other thing is it won't just affect our Lake of the Pines, Lone Star Lake. It'll affect, it goes as far as Bob Sandlin now we know. My husband's a fisherman. Our marriage is important to me. He has to have his fishing time, and I have to have my time when he's fishing. But seriously, going out there and enjoying nature and stuff is good for our mental capacity. We all need some place where we can go and regroup and collect, and the lakes are that for us. And if they're gone, they're gone. And I trust y'all. I know that you'll make a good decision, or I hope that you will. I know several of you personally, and it's huge. It's not like you're hearing, I think, completely. I think there's things that will happen that you have no idea, and I don't think it'll be the next generation that'll see it. I think our generation will see it. I think very quickly that straw, that big pipe, will suck our liquid gold away and we'll never have it back. Anyway, thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Ready on that?
First of all, thank you for holding the meeting in Daingerfield and accommodating everyone. As many people may not know, the headquarters was originally in Daingerfield, so welcome back. It's also great that the jail is just next door in case anybody gets out of hand. So, just in the next room. I just wanted to talk about the general manager position, and I would encourage your comment to not fill it right away or consider not filling it at all. It's very similar, I think, to a city manager position, and for an organization with a $8 million budget and less than 20 employees, it's worth considering Chapter 49 of the Water Code, which describes the general manager position. It says the board may employ or contract with a person to perform such services as general manager for the district as the board may from time to time specify. The board may delegate to the general manager full authority to manage and operate the affairs of the district, subject only to orders of the board. The board may delegate to the general manager the authority to employ all persons necessary for the proper handling of the business and operation of the district and to determine the compensation to be paid all employees other than the general manager. Part C, except as a director may be employed as a general manager of the district. That would be one of you all, but the compensation of a general manager who also serves as a director shall be established by the other directors. My first entry into looking into the water district was when Mr. Mike Harder told me to look at the salary of the general manager. And so some of the numbers I've heard bandied about with the proposed sale, while we don't know exactly, were $40 to $50 million over 20 years. And the $220,000 salary of Wayne Owen over 20 years is $4.4 million. That's already a significant chunk. So my comment is please consider not filling it right away and or not filling it at all. So thank you.
Thank you. Jerry Thomas.
My name is Jerry Paul Thomas. I know most of you all probably know, but maybe some of these people don't, because I've been up here before. But I'm a civil engineering degree from Texas A&M. I got worked 42 years for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. I worked 10 years on the Red River Waterway Project, 10 years as manager of Lake of the Pines, and 22 years for all the lakes in East Texas. I've been a professional engineer for over 50 years. In a lot of time, I cannot start to explain the watershed and everything that is involved in it. However, I would like to say that it's one of the best watersheds in Texas. However, it's not the largest, and it may be one of the most ecological sensitive watersheds in the state of Texas. That's three things I think are really important to keep in mind. I will be available. I know we're not going to have any interaction, but I'll make myself available if any of y'all or any of the people would like to talk to me about it. I'll be glad to explain what I can. And what I can't, I can find out where we can find out the answer. Lake of Pines project is authorized by Congress for three things: flood risk management, water supply, and recreation. I know there were some misunderstandings or whatever about that, but I assure you that's a fact. Water that is excess on one may be a necessity on the other. So you got to look at the whole thing. It's engineered for the whole thing. And I'm proud to say I didn't have anything to do with the design of it. I just operated and worked on construction. But when the major releases are concerned, okay, which is for flood risk management, that helps Lake of the Pines because it draws from the bottom, it takes out sedimentation, and as y'all's people can tell you, sedimentation is a big problem. Y'all have spent a lot of money this year getting sedimentation out from around your pumps. And it doesn't take it all, but it helps a whole lot. It was stated by y'all's people that's probably one of the best as far as sedimentation is concerned in the state. Well, time's going by. But I want to tell you this. If you'd like to see what happens when North Texas pumps out of the lake, Jim Chapman was one of my lakes. They pump out of Jim Chapman up at Cooper. You ride up there. One day it may be going over the spillway. The next way it's Mud Hole. The other one is LeBon. That's one of theirs. I would encourage you to go see it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. The honor flag.
I want to apologize in advance if it sounds like I'm talking out of my nose because this pollen's trying to take me out. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you not only as the mayor of Lone Star, speaking on behalf of Lone Star's Water Board, of Lone Star's board, but as someone who works daily in the rural water industry, and as a member of Women in Water, and as someone deeply committed to the responsible stewardship of our most precious resource, water. The proposed sale of water from Lake of the Pines is a short-sighted decision that undermines the long-term sustainability of our communities, our ecosystems, and our future generations. Water is not just a commodity. It is the lifeblood of our towns, our agriculture, and our people. To sell off this resource without a comprehensive and transparent review of the consequences is not only irresponsible, but also a direct threat to stability and growth of our region. We need leadership that understands this, leaders who recognize that water is unique, finite, and irreplaceable. Last month, we placed an item on the agenda for the discussion of the water sale to help ease the mind of some citizens and let them know where we stood as a council. As anticipated, we had a full house, and on the front row there were 3 Northeast Texas Municipal Water District members. One individual repeatedly rolled her eyes, sighed loudly, and smirked while concerned citizens spoke. When the citizens' comments were over, one of my aldermen publicly addressed the actions of this individual. Whether her facial expressions were meant to be disrespectful or not, they were perceived that way. When handling public relations, perception is everything. People of Northeast Texas Municipal Water District have become so complacent that they have forgotten that they were elected, appointed, or hired not to serve personal agendas, but to listen to the voice of people who put them in those roles. The consensus among citizens in the 7 cities and surrounding areas is clear. They do not want the sale to take place. They want to protect our most precious resource, water, for now and for future generations. Unfortunately, the recent actions of the Water Board, including the forced resignation of their director and the potential appointment of their accountant to this critical position, demonstrate a failure to prioritize expertise over convenience. While financial management is undoubtedly important, it is no substitute for the specialized knowledge and expertise required to make informed decisions about water management. We need fresh perspectives and leaders who truly understand water, its value, its scarcity, and its essential role in sustaining our communities. As a mayor and water professional, I implore the board to reconsider its course of action. I urge them to seek out qualified experts in water management, individuals who grasp both the technical and environmental implications of their decisions. Our town and other member cities deserve better than the hasty deals and misplaced leadership. We deserve transparency, expertise, and above all, a commitment to protecting our water resources for the future. Together, we must stand firm against this sale and transition and demand a board that truly serves the best interests of the people, not just the bottom line. Thank you.
David Simpson. Is he here? David Simpson.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. My name's David Simpson. I'm a citizen of Avenger. Walking around Jefferson last week with my grandson and my wife, we stopped at a bust of Thomas Jefferson and read his words. When a man assumes a public trust, he should consider himself as public property. The manner in which this board has considered itself for several years defies this description. Instead of viewing yourselves as public property to be inspected and scrutinized, you have hidden yourselves, your contact information, your plans, and refused to seriously consider scientific objective studies. You have aspired to sell a large amount of water without objectively studying its effects, with the justification that you have a license to do it and that you're in the business of monetizing assets. That is reckless. Were it not for the public outcry, your plans may have been consummated. Last week, among other presentations by biologists, engineers, and scientists, Aqua Strategies, who specializes in hydrology, made a presentation to federal, state, and local officials and landowners at a conference hosted by the Caddo Lake Institute, and to which the district was invited not only to attend, but to present. They showed what the lake levels would be there if the flows deemed necessary for our downstream neighbors, and a demand was met for 122,000 acre-feet per year. From 2000 to 2021, the model showed the lake levels dropping way below SWEPCO's intake.
1 minute.
To 201 feet, the bottom of the conservation pool and the top of the dead pool, not once, but twice, in 2007 and 13, according to this model. Draining the lake to the top of the dead pool would not only ruin recreation, but water quality, aquatic life, and our precious cypress forest. Science shows that flowing water through the lake is not wasted. It does not go just to the Gulf. It sustains all life all along the way. I encourage you to acknowledge your faults and your refusal to follow the truth and justice and plain dealing, to put it in Jefferson's words, and to be grateful for a vigilant citizenry and allow others who are committed to operating in the sunlight to take your places. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 14 on the list, I'm having a hard time. Is it Ricky? Is there someone in here named Ricky?
Ricky? Is it a V or an R?
It looks like Ricky.
Maybe it's Rick.
Rick, okay.
I'll be short and sweet.
Yes, sir. Come
I'm
on.
Rick Michaels. I'm a member of the board of the Caddo Lake Institute. I'm sorry. You mean start over? I'm Rick Michaels. I'm a member of the board of the Caddo Lake Institute. We appreciate y'all having us here today, and I'd like to surrender my time, if I could, to Marshall Jones, who's right behind me.
We're not doing that.
Not doing that today?
Yes,
Okay, well,
Go ahead.
I'll leave it there.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Marshall Jones is next. Come on.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, sir.
I was here last month and listened to the public meeting. I've read your website where you stated on February 13th that a lot of public declarations. My name is Marshall Jones. I'm a licensed lawyer in the state of Texas and the state of Louisiana. I'm here representing the Jones Ponderosa LLC. It's the largest private landowner in Marion County, the largest landowner on Caddo Lake. And after the meeting last month, I made a demand on you through Wayne Davis to produce all public information under the Texas Government Code. Your lawyer, a lady named Jennifer Smith, very courteous, like all of you, refused, but did provide me with a copy of a mutual non-disclosure agreement. It's titled a mutual confidentiality agreement that I've given to all of you. And I make reference to this, that mutual confidentiality agreement is per se illegal. Jennifer Smith agreed. It's an agreement between two government entities that are defined by the Texas Government Code. And it's dated 2023. Look at that. And you failed to produce it until I made a demand on it. And you still have failed to produce any of the public records, although in your press release you face things like it's normal to enter into a non-disclosure agreement. We are sharing the information we have available at this time. And our entity is working exclusively.
1 minute.
Exclusively to serve cities and rural areas north and east of Texas. If you look at the non-disclosure agreement, folks, this board is not telling you the truth. The second highlighted area that I point out to you talks about their confidential information is available to their potential project partners, including the Northeast Texas Municipal Water District, U.S. Steel, Southwestern Electric Power Company, Luminant, which is a division of Vestar, the largest utility in America. Luminant has power plants, coal plants, nuclear power plants throughout the state of Texas, and they need water to cool it all down. The agreement was again signed in 2023, and they forgot to tell you about that. Mr. Wayne Davis, who apparently is no longer here but got paid $4 million.
Time.
Keep on talking.
I'm gonna keep talking until you tell me not to,
I
because
just
I'm gonna be
said
taking
that.
your deposition soon.
I just said that, sir.
This is where this is headed. This is where this is headed. All of you are in ultra vires acts.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do what you do, and the property values, all of your property values,
We've given you 3 minutes, just like everybody else.
that I'm gonna
sir.
take 4.
I'd appreciate it if you would stop
I'd
talking.
appreciate you letting me finish.
No,
All
I
of your
won't.
property values are dropping because of their failure to tell you what they're doing. That's a tort. Each of y'all individually are in violation of the Texas public records law. That constitutes possible, don't want to threaten you, but it constitutes possible public corruption. And if any of you took a steak, a hotel room, a trip to Dallas with Wayne Davis,
Yeah.
we're going to find out.
I'm gonna ask you again very nicely, sir, if you would
Good,
refrain.
good,
and
good day to all of
you.
y'all. We'll be seeing you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
That's him.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. Stella Barra? Stella Barra? Okay, here she goes.
Hello, and thank you for having me. My name is Stella Barrow. I am a past president of Greater Caddo Lake Association and the current vice president. At a recent Jefferson City Council meeting, there was a statement made that this proposal might, could, may harm Caddo Lake. And when that statement was made, there are two businessmen within the city of Jefferson that have been there since the 70s. And they both said that should have been it. That was enough. It should have ended right then, and GCLA agrees with that. GCLA is 50 years old this year. We started by dredging boat roads. We have since opposed and successfully opposed the Daingerfield Reach. We opposed the building of an industrial park at the Lone Star Ammunition Plant, and it finally became Caddo Lake National Wildlife Refuge. Most recently, we spun off Caddo Biocontrol Alliance to raise weevils to fight giant salvinia. With members for GCLA all over the state of Texas, this board will oppose this sale. Thank you.
Laura Ashley, over there.
Good to see y'all.
Good to see you.
I really did not realize how very deeply afraid y'all are that the megaplex is gonna come and take these water rights. I couldn't figure out why y'all kept saying it, even after the mention about how if you paid for your reservoir, they couldn't come and take it. But in talking with some of you, I realized that you really are afraid of that, and you really do believe that because they are so politically and financially powerful, that they're gonna find a way to take the unused water. And I certainly agree with George Ottstott that this water is the biggest asset anybody in this region owns. Not just financially, a huge part of it is the quality of life, the way of life, the wildlife, the lakes, and of course Caddo. So I get why you'd be afraid to have it taken from you. But at the Flows conference last week, I got to be with the smartest folks about this. Water rights attorneys, folks from the water board, and they told me a fix for this sphere, to legally safeguard your water with multiple layers of defense against them ever coming and taking it. Your original permit, and yes, let's speak about it, surface water in Texas is owned by the state until they give you a permit for it. And then when that permit is adjudicated, which yours was in the 80s, then it is considered yours. A perpetual right is what they call it. Perpetual right is what you have. And so in that original permit, they have the uses for your water. Municipal, the cities, industrial, and recreation. Recreation. So you can report every drop in Lake of the Pines as being used, beneficially used. Because whatever the cities and industries don't buy, you can report every drop that stays in Lake of the Pines as used for recreation. It's not a legal trick. It's not a way to game the system. It's actually the correct way to report it according to your permit. So you've got you paid for it, they can't take it away. You've got the recreational use. And then to add another layer, please, that paperwork that I brought last month, I think it should be filed quickly because it is the third extra layer of defense. It would add in-stream flows on top of all the other uses that you already have. And so every year you get your usage report and you file Whatever the cities used, you put that as municipal. Whatever the industry used, use as industrial. Anything that goes downstream to Caddo, reported as in-stream flows. Then every other drop that stays in Lake of the Pines is for recreation. So when Jenna Covington said the only way to put our water to beneficial use was to move it to Dallas, it is all being used here for legally beneficial use, and you don't have to lease it to protect it.
Thank you. Nelson Roach.
I hope that we do not hear any more of Brian Sledge's talking points tonight. There's no contract, never was a contract, misinformation, emotional arguments. I know where you got that from. Misinformation. There's been a lot of misinformation. And from what I've seen, every bit of it has come either from board members or employees of the NETMWD. Last Thursday, I cornered Dominic and I said, you tell me one fact that either Laura Ashley Overdyke or Jerry Thomas or I have said in any of these meetings that constitutes a misstatement. And he thought about it for a long time, and he had to admit nothing. I'm not going to go through all the litany of things that NETMWD board members and employees have said, but I think you know what they are. But there's one issue I want to talk about in terms of misstatements, and that's juking the stats. First thing is, as Laura Ashley indicated to you, you could report every drop of water in Lake of the Pines as being used for recreational purposes. And when Walt Sears was the executive director, he reported every drop as recreational use. In addition to that, all you have to do to report environmental flows is fill out a piece of paper and send it to the state. I believe when Wayne Owen became the executive director, he stopped reporting recreational flows, recreational use. He never changed the permit to report environmental flows. Why? So that you could say that there was excess water that was not being used by the permit. That was reckless. And the reason why it is reckless is because all those people are down in Austin right now with that water bill pending, and they're saying that the Northeast Texas Municipal Water District is not using all of their water. And that is false, and it's a fraud, and it has imperiled your permit. Then there's discussion, these are emotional arguments. These are factual-based arguments. Yes, we're emotional, but we are not irrational. And getting rid of Wayne Owens does not solve this problem.
Time, sir. Time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Lorraine Meyer.
Good evening, I'm Dwayne Myers. My wife and I live on Caddo Lake, just outside of Uncertain. 2 weeks ago, she and I spent about 4 days in the hill country about an hour north and west of Austin, specifically on the North Fork of the St. Gabriel River, which is just a rock bed. There is no water. They're entering their 3rd year of drought. The ranch that we were staying at has had to deepen their wells 200 to 300 feet because they can't get either water or quality water. The single number one topic of every person down there is water. They don't have it. They don't know where they're going to get it. Their flora and fauna are disappearing. It's honestly liquid gold. The two ranchers that we talked to and we don't understand this, but they have had people going door to door, they approach them, knock on the door, we know you don't have water, but we would like to buy your water rights or lease them, and then they're gonna trade them credits somehow or another back to Northeast Texas for their water. That's words that we heard down there. Very disturbing. Second item, this trip that I'm sorry? Very disturbing. The trip that I made to Daingerfield this evening, it's about an hour-long drive. I have to go through Jefferson. I made the same trip in September of 2011. And as I drove through the city of Jefferson, it was like dusk descended, headlights on the car came on. It was 12 noon. We had massive wildfires. There were embers, flaming embers coming down in the city of Jefferson. It was devastating. There were 40 to 50,000 acres that were destroyed in that wildfire. They're having Central Texas is having raging wildfires, as you know. We've had a couple of breakout here just locally. We have so much energy, stored energy in our forests that we have here. If we don't have water, we can't put that out. Right. No water is a death sentence. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Meaford, the floor.
Chairman, members, good evening. I'm glad you are all here. I'm glad all these folks are here. You guys know my feelings on the water sale. My commissioner's court has sent letters to each of you. We have ran ads in every newspaper that sits in your district that we oppose any water rights sale to anyone outside of our district. With that being said, I don't know anybody that works for the district. I don't know anybody other than Mr. Ottstott. George Ottstott is a pillar of the city of Jefferson and Marion County. He has done more for Marion County and the city of Jefferson than any human being alive today. I support George. He has made the right decision to oppose any water sale outside of the district. We're proud of you, George. Thank you for listening to your constituents. With that being said, my son is an 8th generation citizen of Marion County. My wife's family has lived in Marion County long before it was Marion County. It used to be Cass County. My wife's great-grandfather was one of the largest landowners of Lake of the Pines when it was sold to build Lake of the Pines. Every member of her family is against any water sale outside the district. She has a cousin that's sitting here somewhere. He's taking pictures of me right now. Our family put a lot into Lake of the Pines, and I suppose, since we have such an outstanding member, that you all are outstanding members of your communities, or you wouldn't be sitting where you are today. So I propose that each and every one of you take a step back, listen to all these people in the room. I've been the county judge of Marion County for 6.5 years. I've never signed an NDA and would never sign an NDA because I answered my constituents. There should never be a non-disclosure agreement signed between any governmental entity against the people that they represent, whether it be in their best interest or not. So again, I oppose any water sale outside of this district, and I oppose any water rights sale to anyone. There should never be any right sold outside of the purview of the public 100%, and explain to them explicitly what's happening. I don't want to take more than my 3 minutes. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Judge Patterson? Judge Patterson?
Hi, I'm Judy Patterson. I'm the mayor of the City of Uncertain. I'm also a board member of the Greater Caddo Lake Association. Those two organizations came together with other organizations and formed the Save Our Lakes Coalition. That includes Lake of the Pines, Caddo Lake, several organizations. We did that because there is major damage proposed to occur based on science, based on biologists, hydrologists, ecologists, all of them, to both of those lakes. Again, like people have been saying, and I'm kind of repeating what they're saying, is that we have science. I attended the same conference that Caddo Lake Institute put on. Overwhelmingly amount of science that was involved. I was very disappointed that you guys weren't there, or that your people in charge weren't there, the people running the show weren't there. So much information. And it was stated at this last meeting that I attended that research and scientific information had been requested from Caddo Lake Institute, and golly gee, was there a day and a half of it presented. It was overwhelming, and that information was not new. It was all there. There was a statement made recently by one person on the board that said that this water cell will not harm Caddo Lake, which is absolutely scientifically not true. Now, I understand that you guys have put a tremendous amount of trust into your people that you hired to take on as an advisory role to you. I understand that, and as a mayor, of a tiny little town, anyone that I put in a position of trust, that has to happen. Unfortunately, that trust was broken. It's caused misinformation to be leaked and said. We know that Lake of the Pines will be damaged. As a result, we know that Caddo Lake will be damaged. The ecology, the environment, the economic welfare, all damaged. I would encourage you to take a look at the vast amount of scientific data is out there. I have educated myself more in the last 3 months over water than I ever wanted to know in my entire life, but I will continue doing so until this sale is stopped. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Kevin Sheehan. Okay, here he comes.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you for giving us this time. Again, thank you for opening this large facility up for us and making it available. Because a lot of people, and I've been to several meetings. I started in the Ore City Council meeting. I went to the Commissioner's Court in Jefferson, City Council in Jefferson, City Council again in Ore City, City Council in Daingerfield, City Council in Hugh Springs. Not one person at any of those meetings has said anything but don't sell the water. We are all citizens of a county, and these cities that represent the Northeast Texas Water District are all parts of counties. Several of the counties, the commissioners' courts have requested that you don't do anything as far as a sale. I think the biggest thing that all of you need to look at in reality is the citizens of East Texas, the citizens of Louisiana, the citizens of the area below Lake of the Pines and Caddo Lake. All of us, all these people. Have you ever had this many people at any of your meetings? Not one time. At the city council meetings, the same. Listen to the people that are paying the taxes. Listen to the people that put their trust in their city councils and then in turn put their trust in you. You've got to do what the people wish. It's not about money. It's about what's doing what's right. I drove across the dam today, taking my travel trailer, which I've been doing for 40-something years, camping on Lake of the Pines. And as I crossed the Brushy Creek part of the dam, the very first part of the dam, coming from the west, and I looked and I thought, take 5 feet of water out of there. It's nothing but a little pool in the middle. All those flats, they're dirt. As I crossed over the dam, I looked at the banks, and I could think to myself, looking up that lake, you take that kind of water out, it's gonna be nothing but unusable dirt. There's not gonna be any water. Coming to this meeting, I crossed 259 Bridge over the north end of the lake. You can already see the creek starting to show up. The pools are going away, land's coming to the surface. What's happening right now in all of East Texas? Every county around here is in a burn ban. It's March. We are going to have another drought season, and they're gonna continue to happen. It's part of the real world of what's happening in our environment, and you guys are totally responsible for protecting East Texas and our water. Thank you for your time, and we trust that you will do what's in best interest.
East Texas. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed the bigger venue where you could all come in and sit, air conditioning, and try to make you comfortable. We appreciate your comments and concerns again. Just thank you for showing that to us as board members, okay? We're going to move on with our meeting. You're welcome to stay, but we've got a few agenda items. I think you probably have a copy of the agenda, and we're going to just move right on through that. Item number 6 is consider the approval of minutes from the meeting held February 14th, 2025. And board members, if you've had a chance to look at those, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. I'll second it.
Motion by Robin, second by Sandy. All those supporting the motion to approve the minutes as presented signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Item number 7, consider the approval of the monthly investment report, financial reports, payment of invoices for professional services. Ms. Osiris.
There were no additional invoices other than what was in your packet, which was Slash Law for services performed in February. As far as the investment report, there was not a major change between January and February other than interest income and market changes. For financials, the revenue for the city of Lone Star, you'll see it's at 31%. It's because we received a late payment. They did pay January's usage in March. So hopefully we'll see a double payment next month. What you see in this month is December's usage. So hopefully in March you'll see double payment for the city of Lone Star.
Okay.
For the month of February, we had interest-only debt service payments. Looking ahead in August, we anticipate the bond payment that includes principal and interest, which will be a little bit over $1.8 million, and that's in August. Also, in the month of February, we paid our water rights annual water use fee to TCEQ. That's just an annual permit fee that we pay. For our capital improvements, our East Springs 1 million gallon storage tank is ongoing. It's 60% complete. We expect to have it complete by August. Also, we've started our Avenger Jefferson Hugh Springs Master Mag Meters project, and that's also ongoing. So you only saw 2% of that in February's financials. We had 2 non-budgeted capital items, emergency items. One was an isolation valve installation at the Jefferson transmission line. That was not budgeted. It was a little bit over $27,000. And we also had a VFD for the raw water pump number 2 replaced in the month of February. That was actually in our 5-year CIP plan, but it broke soon, so we had to make that purchase. Other than that, that's all, unless you'll have any other questions.
Okay. Very good. Board, y'all have any questions?
I got one question. The first item that broke or whatever that we did we do that in-house or we go outside?
So the isolation valve
because of the old drawings or non-existence of old drawings for a lot of City of Jefferson infrastructure, the valve which should isolate our line we were not able to do this.
Okay.
So therefore, we're facing a endless search for valves in any area pretty much possible. Versus this, we hire a company which has the very unique way of putting insulation valves on a live line, and that unfortunately caused additional cost. We were able to do this partially in-house, partially with a contractor, and partially with a specialty contractor. But needless to say, right now, districts and City of Jefferson situation improved dramatically, because if anything would happen, like a line break on this area, pretty much it would drain 2 out of 3 Jefferson towers in no time, and that would be a water bill notice, so we prevented this ahead of the time.
Jefferson, thank you very much. Yep. Any other questions, any board members for financial? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financials.
I make a motion we accept the financial reports as presented.
Okay.
Second.
A motion by Stan, a second by Jack. All those supporting the motion to approve the financial report as presented signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Water production operations report. Mr. Dominic, please use the mic. Yes.
Thank you, board and everybody, to be here. So on the operations report, raw water quality for this time of the year is considered good. Our alum dosages, our main coagulant, are fluctuating between 50 and 70. I think at peak was 70, and we are right now at 52 parts. There's a significant savings on the chemical we use the most. As far as the lake level, as of this morning, Lake of the Pines level is at 228.93, so it's about a half foot above the conservation pool. For Lake of March, Lake of the Pines been above the conservation pool all this time, pretty much since beginning of the year. So just in March, Lake of the Pines released about 22 billion gallons, and since beginning of the year, Lake of the Pines released about 70 billion gallons of water, which is about 70 years of what we use for treated water to our member cities. On our permit, which we can use during the year, which is 203,800 acre foot, what was released since January 1st, it's about 211,000 acre foot left Lake of the Pines, and about 241,000 is presently in the lake. This is an update on a lake level situation. As far as further on Operation Pittsburgh, we restored full operation of raw water pump station. You guys knew there was straight winds and almost tornadoes in that area. It actually knocked out several power lines, but our investment after Storm Uri into generator powers pays off, and we were able to continue operation without any delay or any problem for the community. On the Tanner side, our main plant, the main project for this year, which is the City of Hugh Springs 1 million gallon tank restoration. This is a very complex project. It doesn't only include painting, but also replacement of the valves, SCADA operation, chlorine analyzers, etc. So I proudly can say that actually painting job has been done on the inside and outside. We replaced entirely of a screen which was eat up completely, so now we have a brand new stainless steel screen. Should last longer than anybody in this room, so it's gonna be there for a very long time. We finished installing security system cameras. We are waiting for the router to be put in by City of Hugh Springs. Therefore, we are going to have an eyes right now on their new pump station, which was just finished, and it's gonna be hooked up, I think, maybe this week, hopefully. And then our tanks, so a lot of infrastructure money. Now we're going to have 24-hour surveillance through Tanner plant, and we're gonna give access to whoever wants it from City of Hugh Springs administration or water department to also observe and keep an eye on this facility. There's a DVR with 3 months data available if you go to the back on anything which you move live. The cameras are 360 degrees rotable, so it's a really good investment. And as every tank in the next 5 years has its line, that's what we're planning to do. That's not just for View Springs. The next sites also will have cameras, and that's improved security and safety and infrastructure for our member cities and for the district. We also installed our first chlorine analyzer at our delivery points. Those are not required by the state, but that will help us monitor quality of water at those far reaches. Jefferson, for instance, is 22 miles from the district. Takes about 6 days for water to get there. We've been relying on our sampling as we go there, but now as any of those tanks projects progresses, we are putting the analyzers additional security, additional keeping an eye on the quality, and that speeds up the process when we can react to any changes. We are, like I said, we are replacing the influent valves, which will include right now full automatic operation. Up to this point, if we wanted to circulate this water at any point or time of the day, we would have to send a manpower there with the valves in very confined space to start operating, closing things. Now that we'll have similar operations to the Daingerfield, where SCADA operators at the tenor plant will be able to press the button and the valves will start closing, opening. Again, much more reliable, much more security and safety for the system and the fresher water, since we can operate how the water is being withdrawn. As Osiris mentioned, we had some repairs to our VFDs. There was another project which actually happened, and she didn't mention it because it didn't cost any money. But our recently, about literally 11 months and 3 weeks ago, replaced VFD drive for once broke 1 week before the warranty ran out, not 1 week after. So we were able to call this repair under the warranty. This company is known to take their time in replacing those valves. Yours truly, I made a phone call and tell them how important this pump and the drive is, and I would have to present the information that their piece of equipment might cost somebody to boil water or not to have water. We get it overnighted. So the drive has been replaced in the house, and it's working right now. So that's worth mentioning. We also submitted, with your approval, a project information form on time to Texas Water Development Board, 3 separate projects, one for infrastructure needed for tenor plant for the nuclear well and dewatering facility, one for additional larger ground storage tank for Southside project. They currently only have a 200,000 gallons tank. They emptying in this tank sometimes 6-7 times a day in summer, so this is not enough time to do any repairs. So that was second project, and third project was to connect the tenor plant with the city of Pittsburgh, lower the unit cost, and provide plenty of water for city of Pittsburgh as the part of the system for all 7 member cities. Just this morning, it's not in the report, but it just happened. We got the quote for capital improvement on 3 constant speed pumps on our clear well, just to pull them out with a crane and put them on a trailer, and the company will take it where they can see what they needs to be done with it, or repair or restoration, or possibly purchase a new one. That was just this one job was quoted for about $12,000. Well, we did a little research in the house. We contacted the crane company. Our guys did their homework. We were able to take the roof out of the awning, disconnect all the pumps from the transmission system, cap all the flanges, and schedule the crane to be here on Wednesday. Instead of $12,000, we'll pay about $2,000. So that's about 10 grand staying with the district. That's what we do every day. And that's about all I've got for an update. If you guys have any questions, by all means.
You mentioned something about the camera system. So we've got a new security cameras at the Tanner plant, and then you brought up Hugh Springs. How does that interact? Is this a closed circuit just for their?
No, so, thank you for the question. So we have several monitors. Our operators work 24/7 every single day of the year, doesn't matter what, they are always there. If anything happens to one of them, they cannot leave until the replacement comes in. They can come in, I'm on my way. So that always, somebody's always there. So your water, our customers' water is never left unattended. With the technology growing, there is several options, like through camera apps and things like that, our IT company we work with, they did those cameras for our router intake. You've seen 4 with a DVR. The same 4 cameras with a DVR been placed in Hugh Springs side. As soon the router is connected, we will be able to see all 8 on the screens, and then when we add another membership, we will be another 4 and another 4 and another 4. So basically, it's like a full-blown security center. Our operators through the day will be able to see through just the bandwidth and online. Also, there's app too. The app allows anybody, so I can be in San Antonio and I can log into my phone and I can zoom in. On top of it, you can actually talk and communicate with those cameras. That adds security and safety. If we're sending an employee to faraway reach in the middle of the night, something happens, there's no communication, we can actually talk back and forth through those cameras on the ground.
Thanks,
Dominic. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic.
Questions? Okay, very good, very good. Thank you, Dominic. Okay, we're gonna move on to agenda item number 9. And, board, I'll entertain a motion, for agenda item number 9.
I move to authorize the chairman of the Northeast Texas Municipal Water District Board to execute the mutual separation agreement with Wayne Owen, general manager of the district. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, to, appoint the chairman of the NETMWD board to execute to carry out the mutual separation agreement with Wayne Owen. Any discussion? Motion's been made and seconded to authorize the chairman of the NETMWD board to execute the mutual service agreement, separation agreement. All those in favor of that motion signify by raising your right hand. That's unanimous. Those opposed, the motion carries. Motion carries and is unanimous. I'll entertain a motion for the appointment of an interim general manager.
I'll move to approve the appointment of Osiris Brantley as the interim general manager effective on the effective date of the resignation of Wayne Owen.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to appoint Osiris Brantley as the interim general manager effective on the effective date of the resignation of Wayne Owen. Is there any discussion?
I have a question. What's the effective date of the resignation?
April the 1st.
April the 1st. I just moved with put Osiris in charge now.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it had to be amendment, yeah. You got a motion on the floor.
All right, we'll go with it.
Okay, all right. All right, motion is on the floor for appointment of interim general manager. Is there any discussion? All those supporting the motion to appoint Osiris Brantley as the interim general manager effective on the effective date of the resignation of Wayne Owen signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Item number 10 on the agenda is consider April 28th for the next regular monthly meeting of the NETMWD board. That is our normal monthly meeting. It is the 4th Monday of April. I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll second.
Motion by Robin, second by Sandy. All those supporting the motion to have our April meeting on April 28, 2025, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion by Jack.
I'll second.
I got a second by Robin. All those supporting the motion to adjourn signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. Meeting adjourned.